So Spiro Agnew was Nixon's vice president. Born November 9th, 1918 in Baltimore, died 1996 in Berlin, Maryland, was the 39th president of the United States in the Republican administration of President Richard M. Nixon. He was the second person to resign in the nation's highest office and the first to resign under duress. Agnew was the son of Theodore Agnew, a Greek immigrant restaurateur who had shortened his name from, I'm not going to try to pronounce
No, don't even try.
I have to. Anagnostopoulos.
Okay, that works for me.
And Margaret Akers from Virginia. He studied law at Baltimore and began a law practice in the Baltimore suburb in 1947. He was elected Baltimore County Executive in 1962 and then Governor of Maryland in 1967. During his tenure as governor, he established an image as a moderate, securing a graduated income tax. One of those guys. Strong anti-pollution laws. Look at, that's the entire freaking Bolshevik agenda, pretty much. The first open housing law south of the Mason-Dixon line and repealed the state's 306-year-old anti-miscegenation law. This guy's a Bolshevik. That is the whole Bolshevik platform right there.
Correct.
That's the whole Bolshevik platform there. Although he was little known to American public at the time of his nomination for the vice presidency in 1968, Agnew won national recognition for speeches in which he denounced the Vietnam War protesters and other opponents of the Nixon administration with colorful epithets such as nattering nabobs of negativism. Okay. Got away with words.
Okay.
In hopeless, hysterical hypochondriacs of history, he understands alliteration. Alliteration is one of my favorite tools. It always pisses people off. If you can master alliteration, it will cause people with low IQs to melt down. It's hysterical to watch.
I'm a grunt. I don't understand those big college
That's
words.
Fine. It's stringing the same consonant together in a series of words in such a fashion that it short circuits the brain.
Okay. I usually combine 2 or 3 words. That's how I do it.
I am aware.
Like shimp.
Right.
She, him, person.
I know you like to reduce things to one syllable a lot too. What are you going to do?
He lived with me for a year, and there'd be like whole days where we'd be like,
fire,
food.
Actual conversations. No, these things really happen.
Yes.
We would sit and stare at the fire in the living room
with beers,
and just sit there and stare at the fucking fire, and nobody would say anything. Nobody would move. Staring at the fire, and a time would be reached that wasn't like an appointed or actual official time, and we'd just go, and everybody just go to bed.
Yeah,
that was that. The fire would be all the way burned down. Agnew's downfall began in the summer of 1973. Oh wait, this part here. Agnew was despised by most Democrats and sometimes drew censure even from the Republicans, as he did for accusing Vice President Hubert Humphrey, the Democratic Party candidate for president in 1968, of being soft on communism. There's more Bolshevism because his platform is basically Bolshevism, and he's being soft on communism. It's the turning things upside down routine.
Yeah.
It's accusing them of
the same shit we're doing. It's not like we haven't seen that. That hasn't been going on for the past 20 years.
That's interesting. Agnew's downfall began in the summer of 1973 when he was investigated in connection with the accusations of extortion, bribery, and income tax violations relating chiefly to his tenure as the governor of Maryland. Also Bolshevik behavior. Faced with federal indictments, Agnew fought the charges, arguing that the allegations are false, that a sitting vice president could not be indicted, and that the only way he could be removed from office was by impeachment. I believe that to actually be true.
Yep.
After the Solicitor General received a brief asserting that sitting vice presidents could be indicted, interesting, Agnew launched an attack on the administration and vowed not to resign. With Nixon in danger of impeachment for his role in the Watergate scandal, the administration sought to remove Agnew from the presidential line of succession, and secret plea bargaining took place between Agnew's lawyers and a federal judge. Agnew resigned the vice presidency in October of 1963 and appeared in the United States District Court in Baltimore to plead nolo contendere, which means no contest. It's Latin, Pop, but you'll be okay.
I got
no contest.
Yeah, no contest.
You okay?
I'm good.
Do you need a hug?
Fuck your Latin.
To a single federal count of failing to report on his income tax return, $29,500 in income that he received in 1967. In 1967, that was a substantial amount, probably about $120,000 today. Well, Governor of Maryland, Acknowledging that the plea amounted to a felony conviction, Agnew declared that he had resigned in the national interest. He was fined $10,000 and sentenced to 3 years of unsupervised probation, basically a slap on.
That's a slap on the PP.
Agnew's Go Quietly or Else, 1980, is a defense of his political career and an attack on the officials in the Nixon administration. After the state of Maryland disbarred him in 1974, he became a consultant to foreign business concerns. He would have had a lot of knowledge about what the United States was doing in foreign areas as the vice president. But this
is also an early symptom of the double standards we have today.
Yes, very much so. And it is also, I believe, an early example of the staff wrapping that I was talking about.
Yeah. You mean staff sabotage?
It is staff sabotage.
That's
Staff
exactly
wraps the guy up so he can't move and nobody can get to him.
Correct.
It's a pinning technique. On the battlefield, it's known as pinning.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, I made a video.
You pin them, you maneuver, and you destroy them from a flank.
Exactly. The circumstances around all of this and his mostly Bolshevik behaviors when it came to the miscegenation laws and taxes and all of that fun stuff, anti-pollution laws, open housing laws. These are all, that's the Bolshevik agenda, was to open up America to what we're seeing today.
Listen, the anti-pollution laws. All right. Now listen, I'm all about keeping the environment as clean as you possibly can.
Yeah.
But that was the beginning of the strangling regulations that have literally destroyed all of the jobs that provided a living wage in this country.
The United States produces nothing anymore.
And now they're going to do the same thing to fast food. They're trying to cause these fast food restaurants to pay their workers a living wage when the model for the fast food restaurant was never designed for that.
No, it's a first job when you're 15 years old.
And when the last of those jobs are gone, it is going to get lively up in here.
Yes, that is correct. I think it was Kamala Harris, and I know that a couple of politicians in Oregon are trying to push for $30 an hour at fast food joints.
No, it's not. That's it.
I don't think $30 an hour.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
The $20 an hour is a wrap.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to afford it.
Yep.
And McDonald's, let's be honest, like my mother loves the double Big Macs, and I take her on her little drive-abouts because she doesn't have a car. She's going stir crazy. So I go there 2 or 3 times a week. We go to McDonald's. Hamburger, fry, drink, and I usually get a small like vanilla shake because I'm a fat ass.
Yeah.
Like $16, $17.
Yeah.
Like, this is bullshit.
For McDonald's.
Yeah.
What used to cost $4. We used to eat lunch at Taco Bell across the street. He and I went to the same high school.
Yep.
The Taco Bell across the street, we could eat lunch there for like $1.20.
Correct. And that was 4 tacos and a drink.
Right. I got pintos and cheese, 2 tacos and a drink.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
100%.
Wow.
This is fucked up.
So Agnew, I singled him out because, one, he's the first one that I found that genuinely looks like a fifth columnist. We know there are fifth columnist politicians in the administration.
Well, and
for those who don't know, a fifth columnist is somebody who comes in, it's the wolf in sheep's clothing routine. He comes in as a Republican, and he's actually a Democrat or a socialist or a Bolshevik.
A Bolshevik. Let's be honest. But he's the beginning.
Yes.
And it just got worse from there. The income tax has gone up. Property tax has gone up.
Yes.
You know, they're taxing us into the Stone Age. They're not telling us what they're doing with our tax money other than giving it away to Ukraine, Israel, and we're paying the entire world a certain amount of money. Why that's
that
happening?
Alone is racketeering. We shouldn't be allowing them to do that.
Yes. That's insane.
It's absolutely racketeering.
But it started here.
Yes.
And that's where they pushed the snowball and it started rolling down the hill, and now we are where we are.
Yep. Yeah. The setup for all of this started back in 1913, but this is when we could see it.
Just think how nefarious that is.
Yeah.
You're setting shit up all the way back then, over 100 years ago.
120 years ago.
That is
just have the
just
capacity to do something like that.
Well, we know who it is.
We do.
There's a small group of people who hang out in Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
And they butt plow each other and use the butt tubes incorrectly and sacrifice and do all kinds of crazy stuff hypothetically.
Hypothetically. Yeah.
Just saying.
May have a strong interest in the banking industry.
And think about it. All of the conspiracy theories since the 70s, what percentage of them have come true? We should do a show on that.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.